Hey guys, I can pretend to be the main character all I want, but we all know who really runs the show here. Anyways, today we're talking about the downfall of influencers with main character syndrome. Now, many content creators used to lean into relatability, or at least pretend to, because they fake 9-to-5s, for example, romanticize grocery runs, trying to convince their viewers that they're just like everyone else. They get it. But somewhere along the way, that started to change. Now, there are many influencers who act like world-famous celebrities, demanding free food, filming service workers, and trying to turn every minor inconvenience into some tragedy for clicks. And it's not just embarrassing, it is very revealing. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when someone starts caring more about fame than forget being a good person. At the very least, a grounded adult with common sense, the kind of person who doesn't have a mental breakdown at an airport or cries because they don't have enough followers. This is insane behavior. But let's start with the fantasy of importance, which I think is perfectly embodied by the Marshalls New York City influencer meltdown. So here is this superstar who decided to attend this Marshalls event and then complained that it had normal people.
How ridiculous this was going to be because I could already tell from the people in the line, and then I went outside and look at all the rest of these people.
Wait a minute, there are normal people here.
Look at the people in the line.
Yeah, I'm looking at them. What am I missing? What's the problem?
Popped into Jack's wife Frida, and the bartender made me a perfect Cosmo to wind down before I had a serious crash out.
And I should have gotten the hint when I saw every Joe Schmo from off the street that literally looked like they rolled out of bed homeless, waiting in line to get into this thing.
So she pants to the crowd like she discovered that regular human beings exist? What were you expecting? You're going to a Marshalls pop-up event. It's not the Met Gala. Everyone here looks fine. I don't understand. Did you want people to show up in suits and ball gowns for Marshalls?
PSA to Marshalls, if you're gonna go ahead and slide in the DMs of a creator that you see on here, a content creator tagging you constantly in videos, and you're gonna go ahead and say, we invite you in capital letters to this event and join us, please don't waste our time. We spend a lot of our time curating content, editing, filming, posting, and for you to waste our time with this is such a slap in the face. I feel like I never want to shop at Marshalls again.
And then my private jet landed at Marshalls, but there was no red carpet. Don't worry, girl. Soon enough, with Mom Donnie, we'll all be waiting in the bread line together.
Please make sure that you have a content creator day and that you also have a day where any schmuck could come. And I can tell who was a content creator in the line and who wasn't. You can tell. You can tell by how we dress. You can tell by our hair. I am not a materialistic person.
How are you gonna say that right after you just said every other schmuck, every other Joe Schmo was there? Hi, Kitty. And you could just tell a simpleton girl.
I can't wait to get home.
Oh, Schmo. She says, with her 8,000 followers.
That attitude with 8,000, no amount of followers would justify this behavior, but you have 8,000 followers and you're expecting what at a Marshalls event? Be grateful they invited you. Do you think other brands will see this, your attitude, and say, yeah, let's invite her too? No.
You're calling people homeless and ghetto because they didn't get their hair done and get dressed up for a Marshalls giveaway.
Yeah, he says also these outfits are fine. Exactly.
You have other micro-influencers in her comments being like, oh my god, you guys, this is the part that nobody talks about. I only do paid events. I'm sorry, you have 1,000 followers. Who is paying you to do anything?
That's cool that you have 1,000 followers. That's great. But you have to understand, brands aren't going to beg you to work with them. And then you, with your 1,000 followers or 8,000 followers, look down at the people in the line and say,
ew, regular people, these aren't influencers, and I have to wait in the same line?
who do you think you are? Also, even if you had 6 million followers, you could have looked around, you could have said, wow, this is taking forever, and just leave. You didn't have to pan the camera, zoom in on people's outfits, and say, ew, you can just tell.
20,000 plus followers, who has been around the block, who has gone to a few events and have been invited to restaurants to go and review them. Let me tell you something, I would never act like that. That is horrifying to act that way and to post a video of particularly of the brand that invited you. You are burning bridges before you even have them built.
There are many stages for these kinds of people. We have restaurants, airports, subways. Here are some louder examples.
You better keep going! You better keep going! It don't matter if you're tired!
She just throw white powder at some random guy on the subway.
Keep going! You better keep going! It don't matter what they gotta say about you! You better
And
keep
no
going!
shoes either.
You can get through it, but you better keep going!
going. Keep going so you get to the mental institution so that none of us have to deal with that. You are acting like a child. Speaking of children, the next generation of main characters. Over a Toblerone. I want a golden ticket! The issue is these kids, they're also looking up to influencers. Halloween is always a good time to see which influencers have completely lost the plot, and every year we have a few of them decide that anything for views is justifiable. Now, I'm not even going to show these people because it's just a different level of pathetic attention seeking, but this year we did have people dressing up, of course, as dead Charlie Kirk or Julia Fox doing her bloody Jackie Kennedy look, and one girl who is known for saying the N-word, you may have seen literally doing blackface for Halloween. What happened to being a ghost? What happened to being a fictional character? Why are influencers glorifying real-world violence and racism for content? I'll tell you why. Because they are starving for attention. They got a taste of virality, started to fall off, and would rather sell their soul, their dignity, than accept being irrelevant. That is not creativity. Again, it is desperation. Which brings us to the next group of influencers who crossed that exact line. I want to talk specifically about this bakery incident where a food reviewer allegedly demanded free food in exchange for a collab, and when the bakery ignored her, she trashed them online. The bakery then posted the DM.
An influencer reached out to us and asked to do a collaboration, and we respectfully declined because it was not in our budget right now. Then she essentially tried to blackmail us by saying if we offered the food for free, she would then write a good review about us. I told her we'd think about it, but she still came in the next day. Although we hadn't agreed to collab with her, we recognized her when she came in, and we still were very accommodating and offered her extra drinks. So we totally respect a bad review, but what we don't like is lying and bullying. And this isn't just about me. This specific influencer has gone to many different local restaurants and bullied them. The problem is if the next generation is influenced by her to believe it's okay to bully and disrespect the food industry. We like working with influencers, but acting like the working class is beneath you and promoting this kind of message on social media and bribing us for free stuff is not really something we support.
That's a scary thing this behavior is spreading. You can also see this with main character syndrome in Gen Alpha, and they watch those YouTubers who prank people. They throw food at strangers at the grocery store, right? They film it for content. They're harassing people. For the girls, it's more so Sephora, and they destroy the testers, filming themselves while making a mess. This is definitely something parents need to keep an eye on, especially if they're allowing their children to be on social media. Because then they grow up to be like these sorts of food critics. But that was a very classy response from the owner, I'm assuming. So good for her. So hungover, I just had my DoorDasher bring my Panera in my bedroom.
Thank you so much. You can just put it over there. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, got it. Thanks. Gracias.
Gracias. Girl. So that was just incredibly weird and rude to film the delivery man like that. You can see he's uncomfortable. But what really gets me also is the complete lack of survival instincts. You're hungover and your plan is to invite a random stranger into your room for content. Speaking of lack of boundaries and privacy violations, Lily Tino is back. Yay! The influencer best known for filming inside women's bathrooms with women visible in the frame and going to Disney to discuss transition surgeries, using food like cake pops as metaphors for genitals, where children could be heard nearby. Oh, and we can't forget the restaurant meltdowns over being called sir. Lily saw that outrage meant virality and leaned into it. Restaurants became a stage, each minor mistake was bait for conflict, followed by a camera, a lecture, and then a clip ready for views. When the backlash came, even from trans viewers, Lily doubled down, again trying to use identity as a shield against accountability. But that only worked for so long, because even trans people said, hey, why are you talking about your cake pops next to children, Lily? What is your obsession with Disney, children, and discussing your surgeries on your genitals? Surely after this break, Lily would have reflected on the main character syndrome on full display. No, of course not. Lily is back and already making content about women's bathrooms again.
Hello, I'm back. What's up? Long time no see. I did some reflecting. I've got this new obsession with these like Disney card packs. We're gonna open some of those.
It hasn't even been a minute. we're talking about Disney again. You're an adult, no kids. You're going to Disney like 20 times a year. I'm not gonna make any statements about all Disney adults because I'm sure there are some normal Disney adults out there. But there's something weird about a lot of them.
Mr. Nugget, do you have anything to say? What do you think, Doug? I'm gonna go out and eat at restaurants just the same. I'm gonna post videos just the same.
You just said you were reflecting, but now you're saying you're gonna do everything just the same. Okay. Lily, I had hope. It was sounding good for a second. So again, the content. What trans women really do in public bathrooms. Do you ever leave the bathroom? Are you in the women's restroom 24/7? Bathroom, surgery, kids. Surgery, kids, bathroom. Weird.
Captain, a trans alien has beamed aboard. That's troubling. Put the ship on red alert. Apparently they ran straight from our teleporter to the bathrooms. Wait, what? Yeah, straight to the women's room. Probably to do weird trans alien stuff.
You need to see a doctor about that. No person should be spending this amount of time in the bathroom.
Wait, Captain, I'm receiving reports that they actually just went to the bathroom and didn't bother anyone?
Except they actually filmed the strangers in the restroom, conveniently forgetting that while filming this video. Now, we do have influencers such as Lily, who annoy service workers for clout, but we also have another interesting case, such as Hub's Life, because he wasn't selling luxury, he was trying to sell relatability. The tragedy is that both are now equally fake, because he started off by trying to normalize the norm, right? Glorifying the 9-to-5 grind, stability, humility, and the idea that you don't need to be special to have a good life. People followed him for that comfort. This guy gets it. He's just like me. Then, the second he could, he quit his job. He allegedly rented a fake office to keep up the illusion and kept filming staged work days while secretly becoming a full-time influencer.
So the other issue is that when Hub's Life quit his job to do full-time influencing, he actually rented a fake office and continued making content there. People found out about it and they're like, why would you lie about doing a 9-to-5 job?
Hub's Life didn't quit just any job to be an influencer. He was a senior analyst at a Fortune 500. And now he's begging for the galaxies on TikTok.
But the backlash wasn't because he left his job. It was because he lied about everything he stood for.
You gotta send a galaxy, bro. I gotta get a galaxy, guys. If I send me something, man. It's how I make it a living. I don't know if I saw a galaxy come through, man. I can't answer any of these. You gotta send me a galaxy, bro. Sam, thank you for the first gift. Roses on deck. I don't know. I think roses are like, not a galaxy. I want to answer all these questions, but I really can't right now. Sam, where's the galaxy, bro? I'll answer like 10 questions if you send a galaxy. You gotta send me a galaxy or something. This is a lot more lucrative and I get to work from anywhere in the world. Make money from my telephone.
Yeah, that's a privilege. You're very lucky. Yet you don't sound happy or grateful.
Do you have any investments other than 401k? You gotta send me a galaxy and I'll answer that.
If you want me to answer your question, you pathetic loser, you have to send me money. When you build a following on authenticity, you're making this unspoken promise that this is who I actually am. And people who either want that kind of life or they're just interested in seeing something different or something they can relate to, follow them. But then they discover it was all a lie. That's what we saw with Hub's Life, because the moment he stopped being the everyday guy, just like you, right? He became another influencer. The audience lost interest and trust because he lied.
That's the internet for you, though. No one wants to see you doing better than them, right? I'm just a regular chill dude.
Such a red flag. If you ever hear that, I'm just a nice guy, I'm just a nice girl, run. Now, we also have these micro influencers. This girl, she's upset that she's not getting the attention she deserves, or that she thinks she deserves.
I made a video saying that there's enough room for all the influencers in the world, but at UMiami right now doesn't feel that way. UMiami has an newspaper called the Miami Hurricane, and they did stories on influencers who are like up and coming and rising, and they did an article on me, and it was an amazing experience, and I'm so happy that I was written about. In my article, one of the main points said that I will come on here and be vulnerable with you guys and tell you if I'm having a crappy day, and I'm having a crappy moment right now. On Instagram, they posted the cover page, which was the 3 influencers with the biggest following here. And I know I don't have a big following, but it made me realize that like micro influencers don't get enough recognition, and even though I'm chasing the same dream as they are, and I'm trying so fucking hard all the time, I just don't feel appreciated right now.
You weren't on the cover page? This can't be! No! People are dying. What's happening? You're in university, right? Why are you acting like a 12-year-old? And then she posted this. Underappreciated? Oh, this has to be satire. Micro? Micro brain. This reminds me of that BLM girl. Instead of being happy that her school recognized her at all, she's mad that she wasn't centered enough in the post. It's not enough to be featured anymore. You have to be worshipped. You're not the main character, girl. There are other influencers, other micro influencers. Get over it. Now, on the other hand, we have the influencers who are quitting. This woman says she left influencing for a corporate job because she wanted stability and long-term financial security.
This is my story of why I decided to quit being a full-time influencer after a year and get a job in corporate America. This came down to stability and my long-term goals, and I felt like I could just reach those financial goals quicker if I wasn't an influencer, essentially freelance, and I just had a very stable and traditional job. I honestly think that in order to be a full-time influencer or just work in freelance in general, you have to be very savvy with your money. Like, you have to be financially responsible.
And disciplined with your time, I would add, because you kind of decide your hours.
I was taking on, I'm not even joking, like 12 sponsorships a month just to make ends meet.
Yeah, to do 12 sponsorships a month, that's basically a walking billboard.
And this is coming from someone in like the fashion and beauty space. Like, I don't know, it can be such a materialistic and shallow job at times. Completely relied on me keeping up with trends, constantly buying new products and trying things out and sharing them with people and saying, hey, this is the next best thing, this is why you need it.
Especially if your niche is fashion or makeup, these people, they build a career on constant consumption and promoting that consumption, which, okay, in moderation can be fine, but if you have to stay on top of every single trend, you need to buy this new water bottle and this little clip-on water bottle that comes for the water bottle, the hot pink mini water bottle, you know, it gets to a point where it just starts to look ridiculous, exhausting, a waste of money. And that reminds me of a certain makeup influencer.
I get up at 6 a.m. I spend about 5 to 6 hours filming video content. I spend a few hours editing that video content. Then I have to work on my other social media profiles, whatever it may be, Instagram, whatever. I'm in meetings from 12 to 5. I literally just finished working. It's 5:19. Try being an influencer for a day. Try it. Because the people who say it's easy are so far out of their minds, try it for a day. It is not for everybody. In fact, it's for a very small handful of people who can actually do this job.
Girl. Girl! This perfectly captures why so many people are fed up. It's not that content creation can't be draining. It definitely can be, but when your job revolves around your own face or brand deals, you know, you have a whole team helping you. In her case, that's very likely. It's hard to act like you're the overworked everyday woman. This tone is not relatable. It was entitled, it showed exactly how detached some of these influencers have become from regular people who have more traditional jobs. Again, it's not that influencing can't be difficult. Content creation takes time, and your screen time, another thing not many people talk about. That in particular is a huge issue. Being online that much absolutely affects your mental health, so it does have its unique challenges. But the tone, again, miss something crucial when you compare it to jobs that, for example, demand physical strength or danger or even, you know, emotional labor. It's hard to frame this influencing, right, as so difficult in the same sense. Every job has pros and cons, but making a living off your face, your taste in makeup, your personality, that's an immense privilege. If you can't handle the kind of roller coaster you'll be on as an influencer, content creator, whatever, it's inevitable. There will be ups, there will be downs. If you cannot handle that, this is something to consider, right? Doing something else. Nothing wrong with being successful, with acknowledging, you know, the hard work you put into your online image or business, but this came off as very tone deaf, especially when you take a look at some of her other videos.
Couple of days, I'm going to Greece. Pack my makeup with me to go to Greece. Pack with me to go to Greece, but get ready with me to go to Greece. To Santorini, Greece. Got to Santorini, Greece. Get ready with me for my first night in Santorini, Greece. Get dressed with me for night 1 in Greece. Now spend the night with me in Santorini, Greece. Get with me for a day in Santorini, Greece. Get dressed with me for my first full day in Greece. It's summer, it's hot. Get ready with me to party in Santorini. Boat in Greece. Like, come with me on a boat in Santorini, Greece. Get ready with me for my last night in Greece. And it is my last night in Greece.
Girl, I have a question. Are you going to Greece?
You know what? Try being an influencer for a day. Try it. I'm just kidding. But I am going to Los Angeles for an entire week. I'm going to be taking you day by day and showing you exactly what it's like to be an influencer.
Kind of doubling down on this.
LA is literally the capital of influencer world. And I got a crazy week of shit going on. Being an influencer is not a career for everybody. If they could do it, they would.
Okay, so not everyone can, actually. Not everyone could just drop everything, stop going to work, and spend all their time making videos. Not everyone can.
Landed in LA and my room wasn't ready, so I stopped at Erewhon. This is like the must in LA. I got the Hailey Bieber smoothie and the Caesar salad wrap. It was delicious. Then I headed back to the hotel, and my room is so adorable.
I had to fly from Boston, had to wake up at 5 o'clock, so Prada can send me clothes.
And it's huge. The time I get to my room, I do my best to make it feel like home. I unpack my entire suitcase.
Look how much makeup she has. Oh.
Set up my desk as if I were at home.
Girl, that looks so exhausting. I pity you. No one could even imagine how difficult that must be. Like you just showed us, you board a plane, first class. You get Dunkin' Donuts, you get all these smoothies, you go to your fancy hotel. It looks so physically demanding to lay out all your makeup brushes. If someone wanted to do this, they would. So it's not for everyone.
I went luxury shopping and completely blacked out. Stuff I got from Louis Vuitton is literally so good. Like I can't even tell you how good this haul is about to be. Little Chanel keychain that you can clip onto any of your Chanel bags. Like imagine this with all my lipstick.
Wait, it's a bag for your bag?
How much a year do you spend on glam?
Well, a lot, but if I'm filming my show, then they pay for it.
This reminds me of the flashy male influencers as well who do that. They pose with Lamborghinis, private jets, Rolexes, the 4 a.m. morning routines like we saw with that sparkling water guy. She builds wealth through her brand. Okay, fine. The issue isn't the success, it's the tone when you make these videos, right? For both men and women. It's the disconnect between living in luxury and still framing yourself as a victim of your own job. Some people have to wake up at 6 a.m. just to get by. You don't actually. You can make your own schedule and wake up later, post less, and you would be fine. Unless you're incredibly financially irresponsible with these hauls. But this leads one to believe you would be okay. When you reach that level of wealth, you have the privilege to take a step back, take breaks, hire more help. Complaining about filming makeup tutorials does not inspire people. She also likely has a team of managers, assistants, editors, moderators, right, handling a large portion of the workload behind the scenes. So when someone who's already built an empire complains about how exhausting it is, it just doesn't land the same way. It does require a strange kind of detachment, so already it will attract people who may be a bit more prone to narcissism. So they have to work on keeping it in check. If you're the kind of person who cares so much about what strangers think of you, influencing is probably not for you. The people who last are the ones who can handle both praise and criticism, and still will post the next morning. But all this could have been said in a different way, while acknowledging really how grateful you are, or at least should be, that you get to do these makeup tutorials in your room for a living and have these luxury brands send you clothes and products for it. Most were just regular creators sharing something fun every now and then, but then they got caught in that loop of validation, of attention, and brand money. But the second you start thinking you're the exception to every rule, the main character in a world full of extras, that's when it becomes a problem. If you want to be an influencer, create content, share your ideas, show your personality, great. More and more people actually dream of doing it, especially in Gen Z, but the obsession with importance and validation is where things start to fall apart. We need more content creators who can laugh at themselves, take accountability when they should, maybe even stop using strangers or service workers as props, perhaps even touch grass from time to time. And that's all. Make sure you check out my other main character syndrome videos, subscribe and hit the notification bell to see more, like and share the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.